Welcome back to Rolling with Story with me, Sam, my co-host Connor, and our guest Hinchi from Dynasty TCG. Really excited to both have you with me here today. Hinchi, we're going to throw a question at you straight away. What inspired you to make a TCG?
So the backstory to why it's specifically a TCG is because I don't know if you guys have heard of a game called Total War Three Kingdoms.
Yes, I do know of it. Yeah.
Three Kingdoms.
Yes. So back in COVID, the good old days, I suddenly had a sudden urge to really want to play that game. But being first year into university, you don't get a lot of money, right? So I was back home because we couldn't go into campuses and stuff. And then I was like, I really, really want to play this game. But one, I don't have the funds to buy the game. And two, I don't have the type of computer to be able to run that game. So I just sat with the idea of, I really want to play that game. And then it kind of stayed in there for a bit. And then one day I'm like, maybe you could do it with Lego figures. You know, like how in Warhammer you can have that sort of experience with minifigs, basically. And I was like, no, but then Lego's going to sue me because I can't just use their products and I can't make another Lego knockoff. So I was like, okay, forget about it. I don't really care. And then at the same time, I was flicking through Yu-Gi-Oh cards, didn't really think much of it. And then one day I'm in the shower, and then as I'm showering, the idea hits my head. I'm like, I could do it with cards. And then I figured it out off that.
Sweet.
That's all good ideas do come from. It's always the shower ideas.
It's the best place to have good ideas.
For sure.
Did you know it was going to be because I imagine, as from our experience on the TCRPG side of things, did you know that what an undertaking you were about to kind of set yourself off on?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
When people see me in person, I'm like, my life is consumed by cards. If you think about it, a lot of people I get people emailing me asking, how do you do it and stuff, how do you figure out the logistics, this and this. I just think, I say to them, don't even think about that. Just make a prototype. Just draw it, sketch it out, and then you'll slowly figure it out over time. But the undertaking of doing all of this, it consumes your life basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you first start off then? What were your first steps getting into you just talked about prototypes? How did you even start?
I'm gonna be real. I did some sketches for characters. So when I first came up with the idea, I've got the notebooks in my wardrobe somewhere, but I just wrote down the idea, the concept of the game itself. That was the first thing that came out of my brain. And then the next thing I was like, ooh, I need to make some characters, right? What type of characters do I want in this game? So then you do a tiny bit of world building and then have the concept of the game. And that was really the beginning. There was no card making. And then after I did some drawings and sketches and stuff, I then printed it out in the printer behind me there, cut them up and stuck them on other trading cards and called them my first prototypes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's actually quite a cool way of doing it, to be honest. Because then you've got a bit of the card feel because you're using already existing cards.
With your own kind of concept on it. Yeah.
That's really cool. You mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh. Were you a Yu-Gi-Oh player before? Were you a Yu-Gi-Oh guy?
I was.
Yeah. There was a lot of hesitation there. There was a real I'm a mix, very deep and sinful.
Now I've got my own game. I can't endorse too much, but no, I was a really big Yu-Gi-Oh guy because when I was younger, I got in through 5Ds. So 5Ds was the generation of Yu-Gi-Oh that I jumped into.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, I knew about the original and then GX, but then my one was 5Ds. I loved 5Ds, and then when I was younger, I just watched it, every Saturday on TV, CITV or something. They get it playing, and then I played it until I was 13, and then I kind of quit when links started coming in, and then I was like, too much money and too much stuff to learn. So I was like, all right, let's transition away.
I was a Yu-Gi-Oh kid growing up. I was original Yu-Gi-Oh, watching the original Yu-Gi-Oh show, and once it got to once the pendulum summons and stuff like that started happening, I was kind of like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, hold up. Hold up. I accept fusion summons. That's a ritual summons, but anything more than that, I was like, no, get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Cool game, man. Cool game,
Yeah.
then.
Did many other TCGs kind of like influence the making of Dynasty? Was there anything did you like see Yu-Gi-Oh and go like, okay, there's loads of things in here I don't like, so I'm going to make my own game to like solve problems? Or did you go, oh, there's a couple of things from other TCGs that I like, but they're not working there, and I want to bring them all together into like an original concept? Or
Yeah, so because that would be touching on to design principle, wouldn't it?
yeah,
So my background is not like game design in any way, shape, or form. So the only kind of design knowledge I have was I did product design in secondary school. Did it in
Right.
A levels and GCSEs. But my main focus was sports. So I did the card game starting in 2020, but from 2013 to 2020, I was just sports mad and I was just training and all that stuff. But what I kind of did to actually get to that point, touching on the points of different card games and stuff, was the whole point why I wanted to make this game was to experience, and then I reverse engineered how I could have that experience. But then I took design principles that were cohesive against every other game out there that is so easily understandable that it just fits into the game. So I would never go outside of the box to try and be different. I just use something that already works to create a different experience, if you know what I mean. Obviously, I have some things which are unique to us, but it's not so left field that it's like, well, I don't really understand that to its uniqueness. So like in Pokemon, there's retreating, right? But in my game, there's also retreating. The principle of retreating is to bring something back to, your base or whatever. So that same experience works, but the mechanical like change of it is just slightly different, but it fits within what I'm trying to create in my world. So I do that with like different bits of mechanics here and there in all games.
That's really interesting, because the two things I picked out when you were speaking there was experience, like you're actually trying to build a game for an experience, which I love, and then you described the TCG as like my world, like it's a world, and I really like the way
Yeah.
like, this is like you're trying to build something that's like fully fledged. There's lore, it's a world, and we're kind of just playing inside it. That's like a really interesting concept
Yes.
for a card game.
Yeah, that's the like, because touching on Yu-Gi-Oh, when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you act as the duelist, right? And you're summoning these monsters and stuff. So what in Dynasty are you doing? You're acting as this general commander, commanding your troops. And by having the answer, you just have to figure out how can you do things to give you that answer, rather than how can I make something unique enough so people might just want to buy it because it's unique. I know you guys haven't asked yet, but for a unique selling point, right? If people start trying to make games and stuff, you don't want to look at why you're different in terms of, oh, because you're just different. It's difference in the emotive feeling of your consumer and what they experience out of it. I think that's really big. But obviously, I only thought like that because I never had traditional game design, whereas everyone else would just possibly follow the same book. But because my experiences go from sports to like other fields and like creative stuff, you can kind of just really be creative and like go create loads of different loops to get to that kind of end result.
That's really, really cool. I'm going to touch on something you mentioned as well. Design principles. You sort of touched on this, and it was something I wanted to talk to you about anyway. Did you have any sort of design principles from the start, or ones that you developed through the creative process that's kind of structured your process in terms of making the game?
Yes. So when I'm making the game, like there's a few people that are on my team that will give me ideas, right? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this would be really, really cool if we have it. But then I agree it's cool, but I say to them, we can't do it now. Because you've always got to look at it from your customer base or player base experience, right? You could understand everything, a part of it, but then if you give it to a consumer and they don't understand any of it, then what's the point of you even launching something cool? Because they won't appreciate it to its full like max. So like for example, like one of the card ideas that I got given was basically a whole board wipe, right? But then you're looking at the state of the game that it is now. If you suddenly put a board wipe, everyone's just going to be board wiping everyone within, the first few turns. So you don't want that because it stops them from actually experiencing what you're trying to let them experience.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the principle that I run with everyone on the team, I say to them, we can do it, but it's about the timing of it. You're basically, if I bring the sports side of things, it's like you're coaching someone to play a sport. You're not, so if you're playing football, you're not suddenly going to put them in the Prem. You're going to take them through grassroots up to the Prem, right? So it's like doing the same thing, but with your customers. So you build up such a strong foundation that over time, the game design matures with the players.
That is interesting.
I really like that. I was just thinking that because we TTRPG, so it's like a big book. We release a big book. It's 300 pages. It's loads of rules. It's massive.
Yeah.
But I guess with a TCG, your game's already out. It's already playable. So there's already a kind of meta. So anything you release has the potential to just warp your meta completely, right? So that's something we don't really have to think about in our game design. But I guess for TCGs, it's really there of like, okay, that's a sick idea.
Yeah.
I'll make that into a card, and it's just going to demolish my meta completely. So you kind of, I guess, you have to be really aware of that type of thing, which could be quite hard, I guess, keeping up with that.
Yeah, the good thing is, so my theory on the big TCGs is because you know how there's a secondary market for games and stuff. They play quite towards the money side of things because that sustains their business.
Yeah.
Whereas because I self-fund everything already, I don't necessarily need people to do that. So I can take the liberty of actually creating something very cohesive. So the principle of our cards is that every card has a cost, right? And when I design a card, the cost is the consequence of what you're about to get. So you're always going to inherently have a consequence, whether it be good or bad. And then the card itself, you would then design the counter for that card. So in the grand scheme of things, it never means that you're balancing too far this way or that way. Because if you look on a wider perspective, although you have on the left side a really, really strong card, on the right side, you can have the strong card that counters it. So it means that for people that get this card, they can have a really cool experience. But then the people on this card, they can then counter that experience and then they get a good experience.
Interesting.
So there's always like balancing it out before releasing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's really interesting. The balance, the cross balancing. I've never kind of thought of it like that, but you're right. You don't want to just throw a card into the ether and just see what happens because it could just destroy your meta, like Connor was saying. How much are you kind of switched on to the meta of your game? How much time do you put into kind of seeing what people are playing and things like that?
I mean, I pretty much go to Birmingham every single week now to see people play, and because of the stage that we're at, which is pre-alpha, and because the products that we release are in like waves, it means it's kind of a controlled playtesting environment where you can see how people interact with your product and the different mechanics and all the different characters and stuff. So just by releasing it to a small number of people, you basically kind of get free playtesters that are happy because they get free product, and then you can balance off that. But in general, every set that I create, kind of each card has a power scale, and then you put that on a chart, and then you can see how each of those cards interact on your power curve. Because then if you see a huge outlier, then you know that you need to dial it back.
You ever had a case where you've made a card and it has just stomped and you've had to go, okay, we're going to pull that one back and we're going to do some changes to that?
Yeah, so Fortune Teller, that's a card that everyone despises but also loves. Because you can look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck and then rearrange them in any order you like. So if you have a really, really good card and you have this card on the field, you'll never see that card. Because they'll just keep on pushing it down and down.
No.
As a bit of an exclusive for you guys, I think I'm going to change it for next year and basically top card either
Ooh.
keep it on top or put it on bottom.
Nice.
So then
that's
it's better.
kind of nice.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool fix, actually. I like
Nice.
that. Yeah. And also, one thing I really like, because I had a little bit of a go, just like on my ones, and the lanes were the idea of like lanes was quite interesting. So how did that come around? And why did it come around? What does it serve? What do you see when people are really playing it? Like, how do people utilize these lanes really well?
How does it happen? So initially, the cards didn't move and the lanes weren't as big as they were. So this will be a bit of a lore drop now in terms of how I got there.
Yes.
But the original kind of like copy, if it were, it was from Vanguard. So there was this random time in Nottingham that I went into a Birmingham Geek Retreat, and then there was a guy trying to teach Vanguard. I was like, well, I play Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know what Vanguard is. But I was like, I'm also really bored. So I was like, go on, like teach me. And then he showed me this like playmat, and it's 3x2. I'm like, that's so weird. It's so small. But then I was like, oh, it's actually kind of nice because it's not huge, but it's like compact enough that whatever you're doing in the game, it feels very intense. So initially, when I like designed the actual like beginning of the game, I was like, let me try 3x2, and then the initial game still had range and stuff, but you couldn't move and all that stuff. And then as time developed, I was like, all right, 3x2 feels a bit small. Because then when I started implementing movement, I was like, let's go to Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's do 2x5. I was like, oh, okay, this feels good. But then there's something missing. So then I added another row in the back, and I was like, okay, now this feels good in terms of the experience. Because if you're moving a unit, you don't want to just go up and then side to side, right? Because it feels very limiting. But if you open up that final lane, it's like, oh, you've got a whole like radius of stuff to do. So it feels better for the players. And then the reason like why I have those lanes is, and the rows, it's so you actually do have enough room to have a battlefield experience. Because one of the earlier concepts that I used to pitch the game to people and explain it is, imagine you're a general in this war command room, right? You know those World War II films, and they have little flags and they have the little like characters and they move them on the board. That's what I'm trying to get you to experience. So that's why I needed to create all those lanes and stuff.
Actually, now you say that makes a lot of sense from what I've seen over the years and that little time I played. That is what it feels like. Like you have, like it's even called the battlefield, isn't it? Like it's called the battlefield.
Yeah.
Did you call it? Yeah. So it is. You're moving around, so it does feel like a battlefield. It has that, like you're placing your units in. They're moving around
in the field. Yeah.
So
like
that's
everything
coming across, which is really nice.
Yeah, as I said, like the underlying principle to everything is your experience, right? Because when I play it, I want to be imaginative. I want to think I'm in that world, right?
Cool.
So how can I make you do something to also experience that thing because you can't mechanically create a feeling, right? But you can use mechanics to lead to you having a feeling, because you can't just make feelings out of nothing. But having mechanics to do something to then give you that experience, like that's what the joy of it is.
I really like how rooted your process is about your customer's design, like the user's design, like experience. I really like that.
Yeah.
It's how much of that is based on like feedback that you're getting from playtesters? How are you collecting that feedback? Is it just verbal? Are you taking notes? Is it a bit of both? Are they doing like forms and stuff where you're collecting this?
Because I literally throw myself into the community, and like we have like such a wide like social media presence.
Yeah.
Every comment and every thing that's said goes into here, and then it processes and sees how like it can go into there. So that even if someone's on the team and they say like, oh, that feels kind of weird, or like, oh, I don't know about that, then you kind of recalibrate and see, like, you have the system and you know how the system works, but if you can figure out a way for it to fit in the system and then get that desired outcome, then you're always looking for a way to fix it.
Yeah.
So like something like the trade center, right? And initially the trade center was like, oh, what do you do in wars and like what is something unique to that that's really unique to us? And that's trading. In war, you spend money, you buy money,
Yeah.
and then you do things. So then I thought, but what am I doing into the trade center? And originally it was an idea to recycle cards in your discard pile. But then I was like, that could get a bit broken, because if you keep on putting things in there, then you're just gonna basically play with 2 decks and have an unlimited number of access points. But then I was also thinking, when I'm playing a game, what's really annoying? And what's really annoying is that sometimes cards in my hand have no use. No matter the situation, they have no use, right? Because you're never going to use that card. So I thought, let's make useless cards useful and stick them in the trade center. Because every card has an inherently built resource cost. So if you just put it into the trade center, you just extrapolate the resource back into the game. So even useless cards become useful in the long run.
That's super cool.
It's a very cool mechanic, actually. I remember seeing that and being like, that is funky.
That's awesome.
That's one thing I'm really proud of.
Yeah, making something useful. Like, I play a lot of Magic the Gathering. I'm a big Magic the Gathering player, and there's always that time when you're in a game and you have just a handful of duds, or you have the situation when you've got a handful of duds and one good card that's too much mana for you to spend.
And you can't play it because you don't have it.
Yeah. And the idea of the trade center then goes, oh, well, I do have this one good card that I want to play, but the rest of duds, well, I can use my dud to get more resources to then play my good card. That feels like a lush cycle that you can kind of get on board.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Super cool. Is that a particular mechanic you're particularly proud of? Are there any other mechanics you want to mention? You mentioned like the lanes, which I love the lanes. I think it's just brilliant. And obviously the trade center. Are there any other mechanics that kind of you're particularly proud of, happy with?
I think the range system.
Yeah.
The range of cards, because obviously that works within the lanes and the rows and stuff, but to actually get some form of Warhammer experience or Total War experience out of paper, I think it's just, and then cohesively making it work in the damage calculation. When it happened, I was like, this is just. I'm sure there's other games with range, but like the back and forth of it to actually be cohesive enough to have a well-rounded experience on that. I think that's the combination of the battlefield itself with the lanes, and then the range. Those 2 things and the movement. Those three things are the core to the game. Everything else is just like, oh, that's kind of nice. But those 3 things together, as a cohesive unit, that's the thing that I'm most proud of.
I mean, it gets to the point when you do set up like your archers on the back lane.
Yeah.
And you've got, like, your swordsmen in front of them, and you're like, oh, cool. Like, I now have like a formation set up. My archers like firing over, and then that feels pretty mad. Like, it does feel.
And
cool.
then visually in your brain, you can see it.
Yeah,
because you've got the artwork to do that.
The artworks,
Sam Bowman said that the artwork is mad.
Sick.
Do you, if you like hire people to that, are they friends? Like, how are you sourcing?
So I knew a few artists back in the day that did the original stuff, but then they knew other people, and we just became friends over time. And like they're a part of the team now, and it's like everyone that we have, it's all in house. So we're all under the Dynasty brand basically, and everyone's just great.
That's sweet, dude.
So nice to have people who also believe in your vision to get on board and like get a team together. Like me and Sam obviously are partners with creating the game, and we have our friends that we've brought in for alpha testing and stuff, and like there just isn't a feeling, there isn't another feeling like it, like having people on board with the kind of the thing that you're trying to make, the vision, and they're just with you. And like having artists as well, that's crazy. That's so good. One thing me and Sam are looking for at the moment is artists for games, and it's just like to have that with you. People who are on board, because art takes a long time to make. It's such a process.
It does.
Yeah. To like be there and like support your game, that's nuts. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, to have like, because on my team, you guys won't see this, but on my team there's more than 10 people.
Overall. I was going to ask you how big your team is. Please explain your logistics, because that sounds very interesting and exciting. Wow, have you got departments?
It is very big.
What's your?
I do.
He's got
and I dip into different parts. But it's not like, oh, we have a whole office and then everyone's just stuck in there. But it's different things. But I have my main team, which is who you guys see on social media.
Yes.
So they're kind of the people that I make videos with. We go promote the game. They're the representatives. They're the face of the game, right?
Mhm.
Behind that, I have a really good friend of mine, Mike. We've been working for ages. Graphic designer. I don't need a ton of the graphic designers because there's not a lot of graphic designing work, but we work together on that like separate department there. I have my own like in-house studio that does all the art. So the good thing about my art team is that they all know each other anyway in person. So they're all friends. And actually, a
Genius.
cool little thing is next Saturday, I'm bringing them to Birmingham to do art signings. So that's a cool little thing.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
That's sweet.
so I have the art team there. The game development team is basically everyone. So you guys are actually part of the game development team. It's just that you guys don't know about it. Right. Because every piece of feedback that you guys give, it helps me create. Like my brain can like go 200 miles an hour, but it can't go 200 miles an hour without input. And when I release things to people like you guys, I get input. And then I have a few specific people that like help refine things and like rule book and all that stuff. And then I classify when I make videos by myself. That's a whole nother team as well, you know, because I've got to think about the social media side and the editing. And then there's more like
beast.
It is. And then like deep down you have like the more business side of things where it's more like proper logistical. So when I work with the manufacturers and like the suppliers and stuff, like that's in my vision, that's also a team. It's not like you hire a team, but it is a team for you to work with. So it's like having and leading these different departments in those areas, and then it all works. And then there's like more secretive things behind the scenes that make everything happen.
Secret.
Yeah. There are those things I can't reveal though, but those things allow us to move forward.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not.
Yeah.
That's cool. I really like. I love hearing about people's teams. I think our team's been so good. Me and Connor are very long-term best friends, so it does make it easier. But also, it's that thing of what we've tried to foster in our sort of teams is like we try not to say no. We try to just say, I can see what you're trying to achieve. Even if we have that a lot, don't we, Connor, where we're like, that was a really cool idea.
Now you're saying
what
it, so it kind of sounds a bit passive aggressive, but like it's not normally.
I know what you mean, but it's not good.
I see
I
what
know
you're
what
saying,
you mean.
but we could do it this way. But we try not to like crush each other, except by passive aggressively doing it, of which we try and do all the time.
It's always like a kind of yes and or a yes but.
But
like
how about this? Yeah.
But what about that?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I love the idea, but how does that work with this thing, or how does it work when you come up against that? Like a lot of it's always this, and I love those type of discussions.
Same.
I think we've definitely talked to some people before who are doing it solo and they're just making something on their wands.
Oh,
like,
you can't do it solo.
No, I know. It's just not.
No one can do it.
I find that too. You just have to have. I feel like sometimes you just have to have people to bounce ideas off. You have to have someone to sound like bounce ideas off, and that.
I absolutely agree. It is so necessary to have people there, ready to take part. I've got a kind of businessy sort of question, like you were saying, you're engaged with manufacturers and stuff. We're not far away from making our own limited company for our business. Do you have a limited company?
Yes.
What's your
I do have a limited company, but we're not trading because I don't make any money off this.
No. Fair enough.
Yeah. So I keep it dormant, but it's having. So I actually did another podcast with another guy from LinkedIn, but he asked business questions and stuff. So, but like obviously because you're asking a business question, I can kind of throw this in. The principle that I always go with in terms of either, game design, manufacturing, delivery, all that stuff, is you prepare for the problem before the problem even presents itself. So you always create the solution to your manufacturing problems. So when the manufacturing problems happen, it's like the problems were never there. So sourcing factories and stuff, I would say if you want to just I'm sure there's websites for what you guys want to make, right? And just go and create that first really bad prototype.
Yeah.
Just do that. have something tangible, and then from that thing you create, you can then just move on, and then you can think about, okay, logistically, how do we make that work? And then you plan before then that happens, and then once it happens, it's like, oh, okay, do you know what? We've already had that mental preparation, so now it's here. It's like, okay, we just do what we've already planned for.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, kind of like it's almost like doing a dry run, kind of test it.
Yeah, basically.
What makes happened in this kind of first run? Okay, let's kind of now equate for that and plan ahead.
Yeah,
that's it.
That is a cool idea.
Because I think the biggest issue that a lot of people have, and it's not me trying to be mean, but people think they're going to go from I'm making a game to I'm now competing against the other games.
Yeah.
But there's that much separation between you two. And you expect that once you hit manufacturing, you're suddenly going to get up there. And that's not the truth. Even if you perfected your design that you wanted in your head, it doesn't happen. You have to get something really bad, throw it out into the ether, let the ether throw it back to you, and then just keep on doing it back and forth. That's why I keep on doing incremental developments of the product, rather than creating one set and then throwing it out. Because you can always... The MVP that you create can always be more MVP'd. And the smaller your MVP, the more economical it is for you. And then the quicker it is for you to actually develop and gain momentum off your community and your design.
So that rolls onto a question of, so starting small scale, bouncing it back, what is the future? What's the future looking like for Dynasty? What are your dreams and aspirations? Huge
I literally keep on getting asked that. That got asked in the Discord the other day, and I was quite reluctant on telling people because
fair enough.
And the reluctancy isn't because I don't believe in it. It's because it's so far out of where it is now that you'd be like, oh, you're just crazy for saying that. But I would say short term, we will be releasing the full game in terms of our booster boxes and our decks in a few years' time. Like I have a year. I might as well share it with you guys. 2027. That's when yeah. 2027 is when I want to launch the kind of the Kickstarter for the product. So that's when I've got everything to that base level. But then even now, again, I'm just spilling things to you guys at this point.
Do it.
We're just so charming, and please give us all the insight.
We've already started planning for set 2 and set 3.
Nice.
So even though set 1 is 2 years away, and set 2 won't come until 4 years away, and set 3 is not going to be here till 5 years away, that's already in the rollings of things. So that's the TCG side alone.
Yeah.
But then you branch off, right? Because I've got connections in the anime world and through our voice actresses and stuff. And then because we've got writers and stuff, because we have a writing department, like you can kind of see where that's going, and you can think, oh, if you have characters and you have artwork and you have this kind of world, I wonder what stories there are, and then from stories, what can you produce off that? And then off there, that goes into my long-term vision. But then I'll let you guys watch that play out. But you guys know the kind of beginning steps of it.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah, it's super cool. I love that there's like, that's when you know someone's serious, where you're like, yeah, it's that there's a 5-year plan. Like there is, like, this is it. We're thinking here. And though it may change in the future, but we're planning. Like
it's always having like, exactly. It's always checkpoints. Like I always have checkpoints. So from the beginning of the year, I wrote this plan, right, for what I wanted to see by December. But the thing is, I'm not seeing what I wrote 100%. But what I have seen is that my checkpoints that I wrote, they actually come to fruition. So it might be, we go to a convention and we get like a certain video created off that. And then lo and behold, we actually get that. But the process of it, you can never plan the actual 100% process. But what you can do is adapt to get that solution, which is the result that you want. So it's like designing the game. It's the same principle as designing the game. What end goal do you want, and how are you going to adapt yourself through every setback or like every problem that occurs and wriggle your way to that solution?
wriggle your wasted. The solution was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah,
The slippery slide.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
So, do you do lots of conventions then? Have you done some conventions now? Like, what's the vibe?
We
on that?
the process of doing conventions is very, I think, again, it's the mindset that people have, because a lot of people think if I go to a convention, people are going to play my game, and then people are going to buy my game, and then I'm going to get popular. But in reality, that's not what's going to happen, because who are you? Why should they care?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do they have the time to invest into you?
Yeah.
So for us, our goal this year isn't even to get people to join us or, buy products, because there is no point, because people genuinely don't care about you. But what you need to do is basically get the attention and let your name be out there, so people can actually be like, oh, do you know what? I've heard of these guys before. And then, as you guys would have known, if you keep on seeing me in your reels and your feed, you're going to eventually start questioning and then jump onto it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, our goal, which we've done, is we've done how many shows now? Like, I think it's 2. We've done 2 shows.
Nice.
But what we've done at the shows is create videos, right? So you can always go back and watch them and see what happened. But the purpose of us doing shows wasn't, hey, please buy my game. Oh,
Yeah.
we're up and coming. It's, here's our thing. If you like it, you like it. Then we'll disappear. And then next year we're gonna come back stronger. Be like, oh, you see us again. Hi
Those guys are still going. They're still making. They're still growing.
And just keep on going. And just they'll be like, oh, I have heard of you before. You were at the last thing, or I've seen your reels. Oh, you were here. And like that kind of got proven through the Oxford card show, where a guy shouted to Jerry. Jerry recognized me when I was walking about. He was like, oh, I've seen you on the videos before. You make the daily videos. I was like, yeah, that's really cool. But it's just that persistence of just doing it, because card shows, unless you have that market kind of dominated already, no one's gonna come up to you. As mean as it sounds, like realistically, we're nobodies when we're there. Unless you're selling Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, all that stuff, you don't really have a name for yourself. So you'll just be dumping hundreds of thousands of pounds, just have a booth where people just walk past.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? This these first stages of like piecing together your game, putting your dreams together, they're brutal. They are like such brutal times. Like you are kind of the very small fish in the pond, and there's just some people like, how long's Magic and Pokemon been around? Like obviously like decades, right? They've just got such a fundamental holding monopoly over so many things. Same as like in the TTRPG sphere, you've got D&D, you've got Call of Cthulhu, you've got games that have just been there for so long that they just have dominate like monopolies on the market in a way.
Yeah.
So like trying to push away in there and be like, hey, like we're new, we're trying to do something. Help us, please.
I think you've got
and that's the thing. Oh,
yeah, you go, dude.
I was just gonna say, because Connor, what you just said there was really like a really, really big thing. So like, oh hey, when you please look at us, right? That's how people approach conventions, like new developers and stuff. They always think, please look at my thing. I've put this hard work in, and I really want you to like look at it and then kind of validate our work. And then if you validate it, then you're gonna want to buy it. Like, because I've been doing this for 5 years, I've seen how that works, and I've done that myself. And by doing that, people don't care. You need to figure out a way to make people care about you without you telling them to care about you. And like that would be through all the actions you do. Yeah, it's like that's the crazy thing. Like you have to do so much out there. Like what I'm doing on YouTube, like every single week I'm making at least 3 long form videos. Every single day I'm doing a short form video, and you're putting it out there, and eventually someone somewhere is going to be like, wow, I care about what he's doing, and now I'm slightly more invested. But if you go to a card show or something, and you're like, please care about our thing. This is really rare. This is really cool. It's like the Wolf of Wall Street thing, being like, sell me a pen, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't want the pen, why am I selling you the pen? Right? What's the point? Because you don't have that inherent desire, and people see going to conventions as a free way to get sympathy for you making a game, right? Where in reality, it should be people want to come see you because you're there. You're not going there to get people to buy your thing.
Mhm.
You have to create that inherent want and like gravity through the work you do behind the scenes. Like it's basically a performance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Card shows or whatever conventions, they are a stage for you to be seen. But if you don't have your audience, why are you trying to steal other people's audiences there? Because you're either Taylor Swift or you're just some kid on the street.
Yeah.
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 I just want to be Taylor Swift.
I know.
It's been
Yeah, I
such a
want to be
long
Taylor
walk,
Swift
mate.
as well.
Just want to be Taylor Swift, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just a deep one of mine. That's really cool. That's really good insights, actually. We have our first convention coming up soonish in Exeter, so that'll be really good. Those notes are really
Nice.
cool, and we can use those, I think. So
Yeah, I
thank
think
you
that's
for
going to be a lot of
Put
fun.
that into...
No,
We'll do some thinking on
it's
that.
through
That's really
trial
cool.
and error that it's just like, oh, yeah, you find these problems and you're like, okay, I need to learn from this.
Yeah, well, that is it, isn't it? Trying to make anything is just making thousands of mistakes and then having to learn from 1,000 mistakes and continue to up the slippery slope, as it were, constantly.
Yeah.
And it's a piece by piece process, isn't it? Like we're working full time and we make our podcast, we make our game, Connor and some of our team are making a magazine. Like we're not at a position where we can do this full time yet. So it's also allowing yourself that thing of, I'm going to work really hard, I'm going to put loads in here, but also there's realities of home life and those sorts of things you have to always be aware of. We have to kind of, sometimes, Connor, don't we have to go like, that's good enough for right now. And then in the future, like you were saying with your plans of going, can we deliver that experience right now? Not with what we've got, not with the time we've got. Later down the line, though, where we've cinched processes up a bit, perhaps we can. Perhaps that's a good idea. We've got a sort of warehouse of ideas where we chuck things. We're like, we're going to let that one stew. We'll chuck that in there. We'll leave it 6 months to a year. It might be something useful later. Yeah. And we've done it.
It's surprising how much they
loads of things come up in a different place. And we were like, whoa, I did not see that.
Yeah,
we have
go
this,
into like the Indiana Jones like Ark of the Covenant vault, and you crack open the little box, and you're like,
and they just keep on coming. Once you get somewhere, you're like, whoa, there's a whole nother
there's
one.
Another
like,
one.
Like, there's another one. There's another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, it always happens, But then, like, because you keep on going through those little avenues, you end up getting to where you need to be.
Yeah,
like that's the beauty of it, because the problems give you new problems, but those problems actually lead you to the answer.
Yeah. I do love finding the solution to problems in the game design process. Going, I know why we made it like this, and it was like we were saying, we want to deliver an X experience, but is this mechanic delivering it in the way we want it to? Could we adapt this mechanic a little bit? And there's ways to do that. I like looking at something, making a solution for it, leaving it a few weeks, and then we sort of all come back to the table and have a conversation, me, Connor, and usually we have like a game design consultant, our friend Owen, who helps us out, and we'll have a little chat about it. From that conversation will probably be, sometimes it's okay, we still don't have a conclusive agreement, so
it's
we'll
like
still get a bit
almost
longer.
there.
It's almost we're like,
the design's
we're almost there, but we could change the wording or the way it interacts with this we don't like. And we've had some real success with that. And that kind of brings me to quite a key question, which is, what is your favorite card you've made, and why is it your favorite card?
Oh, okay. My
Here
favorite
are your
card
beautiful babies.
is...
Pick your favorite.
Pick your favorite card.
It's this will always be the top card, because I always like on the videos, you know, I'm the biggest supporter of the card. But it would be Shen.
Okay.
The first ever character I created for the card.
Sick.
If you don't mind me going off camera, I can go grab
Go for
one
it.
Yes, please do it.
Bam, editing.
Good job, Pinkleton.
So this is the card.
Yeah.
The camera quality is really bad, but you can see.
Yeah.
Is it the Rising Dragon one? Is that
The Rising Dragon.
Yeah. Sick.
Nice.
So that was the first character that I ever drew in a concept for the game.
Wow. You always remember your first.
And you do always remember your first. That is very true. But in terms of like mechanically, I don't look at every single card and think, I need to choose something mechanically better than something else to be my favorite card, because this is its own entity within the game, right? This has its own name, it has its own mechanic, it has its own story. And what I love about this is that I was able to kind of portray his character in terms of the lore and his effect. So his effect directly associates with him in lore.
That's really
It's not
cool.
just a mechanic. It then ties into that whole world experience, because you're playing the character and you're like, oh, so he does this thing. But then if you were to read the book, you're like, oh, that's why his effect is that, because his personality is like this, and that's why he's saying this on the card. And it's like, oh, everything just ties into each other. It all makes sense. And then that hit of dopamine when you realize, it's like, that's a really, really good feeling. And for him to be the first character that I ever created, and then I'm able to create this, again, experience of this card, like, that's what I love. Because if you do you guys have the card nearby that you can also read the
Mine's downstairs.
Mine's downstairs as well.
You have to do some voice acting
That's
for
okay.
us.
Go on.
Go on.
Okay, so the his quote that he has, his flavor text is, "You think I go down that easy?" Question mark, right? And in lore, he's a very resilient character. He might get hit, but he'll always come back. And if he always hits a setback, he's always going to bounce forward. So that's his character in quotations, right? But then his ability on his base champion, which basically has the same thing, like same concept in terms of the flavor text. His ability is, if he defeats an enemy unit and is also defeated, he then levels up. So what does that mean through that condition? He gets hit down, and then he rises back up.
Sick.
And then his new ability that he gains is that he can attack twice in the same lane, representing that resilience and being able to hit twice as strong after falling down.
That's super
That's
cool.
cool. No, I like
What
that.
came
I like
first,
that.
actually, the lore or the mechanic?
The law. The
Okay,
law
cool.
basically dictates how cards are played. So
That's
every
cool.
different card that you will see, if you look at the artwork, some artworks actually relate to each other. So just like in Yu-Gi-Oh, right, where you have storylines within different archetypes, the lore is being told through the artwork, and the mechanics are just playing out the lore. So when you play the game, you're basically telling the story of Dynasty.
Oh,
That's cool.
So
How do you
not
work
just having the experience.
Go.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you're playing the game, you're not just experiencing you on the battlefield. That's the really shallow aspect of it, because it's like, oh, I'm a general and I get to fight a war. But then if you look at the character interactions, you're telling the stories of how they'll interact in the books that I'm going to write, because the character's already built into that and the story's already built in. I just haven't cohesively put it into a book. So whether you like stories or whether you just like good gameplay, you're hitting all different aspects through the vessel of the game. The game is just the vessel for you to experience these things.
That's amazing. So I'd love to know your process of making lore. Do you just sit down, notepad, crank it out, or do you mind palace it? What's your whole
Mind Palace. Everything, everything is just Mind Palace.
The Mind Palace.
It is. But it's also the best thing, because then you can always edit in your head, and you can always think, oh, how does this work? But the way I approach lore is not too huge right now, because my focus is obviously I need to make the product good and get people playing the game. And the lore, all you have to do is basically write it out, and then it's already fleshed out. But you can do all the work in your head, because it's just creative storytelling in your head.
Yeah.
One thing I would say is, I think with lore, a lot of people try and, again, go way too far out. And they think, I need to be unique with this story, right? I need to be so different that people are like, wow, you're different, so I'm going to read your thing. But at the same time, will they? Would that really hit home? So the way I approach it is, again, experience. What do I want you to emotively feel when I'm creating this character or creating this story? And then what is the most common thing that all of us have together that you can relate to? Because the best stories are the ones that you can relate to. The best characters are the ones that you can actually emotionally invest into. So I'm going to let you guys think about what is common between everyone in the world.
I think that it's kind of like there's a real old adage, because I write as well, so I'm a writer on the side as well, and there's no new stories ever told. Like every story has always been told before, because stories are always reflective of life, so people have always written something, because all stories reflect life itself. So I love what you're hitting on there, of like, it doesn't have to be a new story. You're kind of trying to tap into the character or tap into the emotions that people feel to once again create an experience, which is really cool.
I was thinking on what you said, Hinchi, about sort of what commonalities people have in experience, I guess. And I guess survival is a theme in everyone's life, right? In some way, whether it's financial survival, whether it's physical, actual survival, if you're like, an animal out in the wild and so on. I guess that's kind of where my brain went with that. Do you have a particular like thing you were trying to evoke in the commonalities in people's lives?
Yeah, so that is a really, you've hit the nail almost.
Almost.
Because
Almost.
yeah,
Don't straighten my thumb.
Couple more years.
But, yeah, but the answer is way more simple.
Okay.
Because what you're saying is one thing, and that is one thing of the thing that I'm thinking of, and that's way more common, and that's just life. Any aspect of life.
True.
Yeah.
It could be romance, it could be horror, but it's just life, right? So if you can figure out how to extrapolate real life experiences that either you experience or you see other people experience, and then you can twist it using your characters, then you can get people to feel it, and the emotions will be more real because you've seen it happen, or you've seen those emotions take place, and all you're doing again is putting it into the vessel. People open this vessel and they're like, oh, I can see how that would happen in real life. And of course they can see it because it's already happened, but you're just letting them experience it through a different world, which is more easily acceptable. Because if you watched, like a homeless documentary, right, you're gonna feel really, really sad, and like, you're gonna feel like, oh, but then you're disconnected, right? Because it's like, oh, that's a real person. Because if you get too invested, then you just feel bad about life. But if you put it into a character, you can dive deeper because it's a world that isn't real, and you can escape into that world and really feel those emotions, rather than in real life people would rather run away from their emotions rather than dive deep into it, which is why people would have so much more like One Piece. People love One Piece, right? Because there's so much emotion in there and you can escape into the world, whereas you can't escape into the real world because then you just have to confront reality, and that's very scary for most people.
Do that?
Exactly.
Who wants to confront reality?
That's why we make games, so we can
Exactly.
escape.
Yeah, exactly. That's why me and Sam
Yeah.
play different characters on the weekend for 4 hours at a time. It's just to get away from reality, really. Amazing. It's almost, your design process gets quite philosophical, which is really interesting. Like, not a lot of people I talk to who design it have they do have a philosophy, but yours seems very about experience, about trying to tell a story, and that's really nice to hear. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because underlying everything, right, we are human. Whereas this I keep on saying this, but like some things I would say about other people, it might seem a bit harsh, but also I've seen the reality of it. There's quite a few people that would make games, but you're making games to satisfy your own ego. Right? You're making it so you feel good that you've accomplished something. Obviously, I feel good because I've accomplished something. But I always say in the videos stuff, yes, you can make money off it, and that is, a good thing because you need money to survive. But at the same time, I'm pretty much satisfied with what I already had, right? I've already made the game work. But the reason why I continue is because there are people that love the experience. So and then it's like a service job where you're thinking, how can I make the experience even better? Whereas why corporations like Wizards of the Coast and then like Konami and stuff, why do people get so angry at them but still play the game? Because initially they got the experience that we're providing right now, but then as they, conglomerated, they just wanted to make more and more money because greed took place. But because we don't have that environment, you don't need to worry about that. So it's always thinking about, one, how can I express myself in making this, but also how can you enjoy this without getting absolutely screwed? And a lot of people, when they make the games, it's always like, Well, actually, I can tell you guys a bit of a story. There's a guy that made a trading card game, and this is real because one of my friends, he bought into his game, and he went to his events and stuff. And this guy is like setting up a tournament and stuff, and everyone's got their decks, everyone's playing, everyone's paid. But the creator is also playing in the tournament, right? But then the creator who's playing in the tournament has this deck that no one's seen, and it's really overpowered. So the creator ends up winning his own tournament.
No.
That's
And
interesting.
everyone's like, oh, okay. But then this person also got given, I think in total, maybe £500,000 to continue making the game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. But yeah, if you think about it like that, it's like,
Yeah.
why are you doing that? Whereas when people are like, oh, can you play against me? I'm like, I would love to, but also I'm too busy either making a video or I'm doing stuff like this or building us up. And everyone's like, oh, why do you lose? Like you literally made your own game. I was like, if I'm good at my game, then I'm not making the game for you because it means I'm just focusing on myself.
I'm becoming the best player of your own game, which is
Exactly.
It's quite strange.
Which is just it's a
Why
self-serving
would you make your own
purpose.
game to then become the best at it? Like people who make like video games, they're not the best at their video game because they make it. They're not playing their game 24/7 and like learning all the strengths.
Exactly.
They're just creating it and reflecting feedback back onto the game. That's kind of your role, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. That is a real tale of sort of what is your motive? I think that's a really interesting one.
Yeah.
It makes me think kind of like what our motives are.
I know what mine is.
Yeah, go on.
Mine is to give the people the most fun at the table experience that I can. I think that's definitely mine. For the thing I love about TTRPGs is the story crafting element and the epic fun that you can have in this different world, and that is what I want to deliver to people. I know other games already deliver that, but I have a distinct brand of what I really like, and I want to put it out there in case other people really like that. And if they really like that, that's amazing. I'd love you to play it, but I'm not kind of crafting the game that I would like to play. But so that way, there's not really like a money incentive there. I'm just making it because I want to play.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah,
that's a really, really big thing. The you saying that I made it because I wanted to play. That's how I started out. And once you show your passion to the world, other people will like it, and then you're going to be fulfilled because it's like, oh, someone also likes my game. But then that's when the problems start coming out in terms of, oh, this could be better in the game, this could be better in the game, and that's when your mission kind of begins. Like there's that turning point of, okay, I'm not just making a game now. Even if I wanted money in the beginning, it's like I can't do this because there's humans involved now.
Yeah.
Because it's like the way you make your money is how can your customer base actually really enjoy your product, and then it turns into that service job.
I like that though. I like it being a service job. Like I want, like I think anyone who you're making a game, like game as a word implies fun. Do you know what I mean? Like I like the fact that it becomes a service thing because you want it. I want it to be fun. Obviously, there'll be people that play it and go, "This is not the game for me." Like I don't.
And that's
enjoy
okay.
how it feels.
That's totally okay.
That is fine.
Yeah.
The ones that want that type of game, you are constantly trying to adapt and evolve for the people, because if they do become loyal to what you're trying to create and your vision, you kind of owe it to these people's faith in you to create something. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And I'm going to quickly segue off that, if you don't mind, to tell you guys another story.
Do it.
So, from first year to third year of university, when I was doing this, it was like it went well, but I was too young to kind of understand all that I understand now. And then it kind of crashed down. And then towards my fourth year, I didn't really work on the game as much as I would have liked to. I worked on it, but it was just ticking it over, right, keeping it alive. But I was even thinking about quitting. But the only reason I didn't quit was because of 2 Patreon subscribers in America. 2 people that I've obviously spoken to on Discord, but I've never actually seen. But these 2 people, every single month, got cards from me, and it forced me to pack up my own cards and ship it off to them. Right? I wasn't making money off it like that, but it was the fact that there were 2 people that cared enough over such a long period of time that it ticked me over to the opportunity to do what I'm doing now.
That's
So
wild.
like I'll give them a shout. It's Bill and Jesse. Like if
Bill
it
and
wasn't
Jesse,
for them,
big ups.
I would have
Nice.
stopped making it, because the upside of me continuing was that, like, to me at the time was such a negative, because at the same time my university lecturer couldn't open my file and then basically just gave me a free fail, and I was like, yeah, I could just resend you my thing, and then they were like, no, you can't resend it.
What?
So I was like,
What?
okay,
That's
so
savage.
the game's going down and I'm not going to get to graduate during summer. I'm like,
Oh.
all right, so do I continue making this game? And I was like, oh, but then obviously I'm clawing my way back out.
Well, good job for keep going.
Yeah, good
job
work,
for clawing
man.
yourself out. It's those
Thank you.
those bits, those when you really go into the furnace and things get real tight, you know, like things are not going the way, the game's really, you're struggling to get the game because things in life are really like holding you back. That's when your kind of devotion is really tested. And normally when you come out the other side, you feel more tempered. Like,
Galvanized,
okay,
yeah,
galvanized stuff. I've done that. I went through that shit time, and I'm still here. We're still making it. We're still doing it, and that's lush. That just two people, like it's just two, but it's still belief in something that you're trying to create, you know. And it doesn't matter how big or small, but belief just in something, and you go, yeah, okay, I'm doing it for you guys.
Yeah,
we're gonna fix this up. We're gonna get going. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet.
literally the faith. If they didn't have faith in me, I would have disappeared. But because they had so much faith, it gave me that sense of emotion of, I have two people in the world believing in me. If I leave them now, what type of person am I? So I was like, I have to figure out a way, and that's when you claw your way back out, and then you get to a point. It's like, oh, now there's loads of people again.
Yeah. I can see how that's like impacted your philosophy around like the game itself. Like from all you've been saying today, it's all about that. It's about the people. It's about the people that are supporting me. It's about helping them. Like, I can see that how that story feeds into that now. It kind of makes that full picture of like, yeah, it's about the people. It's about the people playing the game, and I'm going to get that together, and we're going to make the best game possible. Yeah,
exactly. I will give you guys also an exclusive insight into my brain that I don't normally let people know about. But I feel like you guys could use this in the future, and also let this be a bit of a teaser for people. But basically, in the entire time that I've made the game, right, I've always said to people, just make the game, because the game is a game, right? It's a trading card game. So stop thinking about the money, just make the game. And I've always had that philosophy. And whenever I see people online and they try and make a game, it's so obvious who are the ones that are just doing it for money. And it really grinds my gears, because doing it for 5 years, I won't lie, it's very painful. Not physically, actually sometimes, because you stay up until like 2-3 a.m. editing, but like that's different. But in the sense of the mental work to go from thinking of an idea and then manufacturing a card and then someone playing with it and then saying through their mind and saying it out loud, I love your game, it's different, it's new. You have to suffer through so much to get one person to say that. And whenever I see someone and they're like, oh yeah, I'm making this really cool game, and like it's gonna have this rarity, it's gonna have that rarity, it's gonna do this, and like this, it plays like magic. And I'm like, you're not doing it because you care about the people. You're doing it because you want a quick way to make money. Sure, you're interested in what you're making in the sense of, oh, it's a theme that you like, but that's a mask to what your real desire is. And like for me, it does make me a bit upset and angry when I'm like, oh, I know you want to make money, but also you can do it in such a better way. But because you don't want to go through all this suffering, it's like, well, yeah, just like, and then when people start trying to be like all friendly and stuff, I'm like, just leave me alone, because it's not worth talking to someone like that when you know their motives are just to use people and then steal ideas and then just be rich, you know. So yeah, I haven't publicly said that to people before.
Now you have.
Yeah.
Now you have.
Now I have.
Have fun with that one.
Now it's on record. Yeah.
Now it's on
but that's
record.
also like,
there's a paper trail.
When people start, and like deliberately letting you guys have the paper trail. But it's like when people start talking to me, they're like, "Oh, I make a trading card game." It's like, "Oh, you make a trading card game as well. Let's be friends." And then I look at their project, and I'm like, "I don't want to talk to you." Like, I will I would rather compete against you and let you show my worth. Like, let me show you my worth and let the work speak for itself, rather than get all like bummy with each other and be like, oh, we're best friends, and like it's not like that. It's a cutthroat industry.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. When you were saying that, it's like, to make a game for like just monetary value kind of seems a bit like counter to it. Not in a philosophy way, but in like a time way. There's a lot better ways to make money. Like, there's a lot better ways to make money than trying to make a game. Like, making a game is hard. And like, me and Sam have been doing it for 2 years of just flat out giving up a sacrifice, like straight up sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like, to create anything, you have to sacrifice your time with your family, time progressing in your actual career. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, anyone would go like, I'm going to sacrifice this time just to get money. I think that's just it's not thinking right, because you're not going to make money. Like, you're not going to make
set up
money.
a pyramid scheme. If that's what you want, set up a pyramid scheme.
Make a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, that's way more easier.
Yeah, way easier.
Less hassle. You don't have to think.
Like vitamin berries or something.
100%. Pyramid scheme. It's
sacrifice all your time for a game.
I have actually been thinking,
Connor,
maybe a business, maybe we pyramid scheme. Maybe we just pivot completely.
Sack off the game.
Get people on the podcast.
Get me involved,
hey, do you want to sell these?
I need to join in.
Yeah. Got the original pyramid scheme together. We'll
I think this is the beginning. We've got 3 people.
That's
people right. That's
with a dream.
Yeah.
We'll make it work. Hey, we used to be game designers, but we made no money at all, and now we're selling vitamins. So come get your vitamins.
If you want vitamins to turn you into a game designer, buy us.
Yeah, literally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but
that's
the thing, though, isn't it?
Flow of being constantly in the state of creativity. Get our vitamins
Get
today.
our vitamins now.
You want to make thousands of
buy
dollars
these right
the first
now.
week of game design. Buy our vitamins. Yeah, let's do it. It's a one-way trip to money.
No.
Yeah.
It's and I would say like the suffering, I think, is a trial, because what you're doing isn't creating a game, because the game gathers people, right? What you're creating is culture. You're creating a new culture through your game, because people are going to interact in a certain way. When they play your game, they're going to have a personality, right? It's like me. If I'm with a certain group of my friends, I act differently. Like, this group, I act like this. The other group, I act like this, right? So when you get into this society, basically, of like this game that you play, it's a whole new personality that you have to do. And then as the creators, like such as you guys, you have to be the kind of North Star of the, what's the word? Culture. You have to dictate how it works. Whereas a lot of the games, like, Dragon Ball, right? Dragon Ball TCG. Bandai have released that. It's on the shelves. But I don't see many people playing it. And then you're thinking, there is no culture behind it, because the culture behind that is the IP, which is Dragon Ball. So people buy it because of that.
Because of the IP.
But when you're creating something yourself, right, as 2 human beings, you're leading the culture. You are seen as the role model in what you're doing. So whatever you do reflects the game, because the game itself can't stand alone. And I say to the team, if someone creates a game better than mine, I have full faith that in the long run, mechanically, if that game is mechanically better than mine, in the long run, we will still beat them out. Because our focus isn't on the mechanical aspect of the game. Our focus is on creating that experience for the people playing the game. Obviously, mechanically, it has to be sound. But the overall aspect of it, how are you going to have your edge against other competitors? And your edge is, how do you treat your people? And I can confirm that so many of our Geek Retreat events, I end up taking players from other games because I have a presence. And because the game, the way it's designed, is so easy for people to enter into it, they basically get adopted into my community. And then you lead them on a campaign of a new culture. And then as time goes on, when you get millions and millions of players, they conform to the culture that you bring in the beginning. And that's when you have new pop culture, basically.
That's really interesting. Super interesting thought about being the kind of flagship of a culture around your game, and kind of being a role model for people who are going to play it. That's really interesting, especially like being forward-facing social media presences as well. Like, we're not just the faceless designer in the background. All of us are actually participating in social media at the same time. So your personality is actually going to be another thing that draws people to the game, which is a weird thing to think about, but it is going, because that's the whole reason why we set up a social media in the first place. One of the original thoughts was to start making a culture around TTRPGs and games, so that we have people around us that think the same way. So yeah, you kind of are the face of your game, which is such a wild thing to think about. It's not really the game that is going to be going on its own merits, but it's also the people that are running it that you're kind of judging.
Yeah.
That's
Until you are so separated. So there's a natural separation point, I believe. Like, obviously, I'm not at that level yet, but it's the point where you obviously generate enough money to actually run it as a business, but using the philosophies that we're talking about. But obviously, what you're doing right now, that gets you that momentum to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like it's so important that you are the game. The game itself is just a bunch of tools. Unless you hold it, it's nothing, right? So you guys are the tools. No, not the tools. You guys are the game. The game is you.
Invite you on to call us tools.
Yes.
Come on. I thought we'd build
I'm
a
a
little
tool
bit more
myself. I'm a tool
rapport
myself.
than
Yeah. Yeah. But like, it's your identity, because you put your heart and soul into it, right? If I were to say to you, I'm gonna give you £500,000, right? Give it to me right now, and then I'm gonna throw it away, and it's never gonna be seen again. You're basically selling your soul away, right? Because you put your raw emotions and your raw experiences into this product, and it's an extension of your creative minds combined. Whereas some people don't think about it like that. They detach, right? And here's another fun story from my my past, right? So there's a guy that makes a game, trading card game. I won't name it because you never know who's going to bite you back in the buttocks. But the guy who made the game, he's made a lot of money, as in like 300,000 plus on this game.
That's all
right? And you do the same research that I was talking about, looking at like what their values are and stuff, and then you look at their YouTube and their social media, and then you see the guy who owns it, right, the face of it, and he's talking about, like why did you make this game? Why do you like this game? And the first thing is, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it's like, who doesn't like boobs and dragons? And you think,
oh really?
Why?
That's his company values. Wow.
Why would you be saying that online?
That is a dreadful decision.
Why would you do that? And explain to me, why have you got people buying your stuff for those values?
There's a lot of people that like boobs and dragons, Hinchi.
That is crazy, though. That would be
that
like
is true.
Pitch. Do you know what I mean? Whether that's true or not, like that's mad.
But you're saying it out there, and people can see you. People know you were the person making the game, and you're doing this. And it's like,
you become the boobs and dragons guy, and you don't want to be that guy. So
you don't want to be that guy.
Like you say, it's about, you want authentic principles to your game and your community. And it sounds like you've got.
Obviously, we can appreciate it.
Yeah,
but you have to do it in the right way. You can't just outwardly go like, yeah, this is what I love, guys. That's my favorite thing, so I put it into cards, and everyone buy it now. Yeah.
Your boobs and dragons is a subtle subtext to your game.
Yeah, it's just it's a really key thing, I think, with these things, is establishing these principles early on. And it sounds like you and your team have really got those principles down in terms of what you always what you'd want it for the game in the future, what your current community is about. Yeah, it's really cool. And like I say, we've been really impressed with your project overall. Yeah. We've seen lots of little bits going on. We got the pre-alpha sets because we're really interested in it. You're doing a great job. You're killing it, King. You're killing it, King.
I do appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. It's really important that just people know that there is like a journey. So as you said, like the principles for the game, right? And like for my team, I let them know every single time. Like, so if I onboard someone, so like Shaban. So Shaban's one of the guys that does a lot of stuff with me. I spoke to him at university last year, and that was maybe just some point last year. And I said to him, because we were discussing about trading cards, he was like, "Oh yeah, I know this, and this." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I know your skill set. I know who you are, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
And I say to him, one day you're going to get a call from me. But the day won't be now. But when I give you a call, I'll be ready for you. And what that means is in the time before I call you, I'm going to do the work to show you this is how serious I am.
That's cool.
And then, because you're already mentally prepared, once it gets that time when I need you, you've already seen the proof of the work that I've done. So this was on the LinkedIn podcast that I was doing with Marcus. That's the guy's name. And I say, you lead by suffering yourself first, so they know that they're not going to be the one suffering. You're the one pulling everyone else with you. They're not the ones pulling you forward, because you have to show that dedication. And then obviously that builds a much stronger foundation to people. So it's like me giving you guys all these like exclusive little bits that builds on the trust, right? Because you're like, oh, he's letting us know, and it's like, oh, it's cool. So you already feel better instead of me just being really black and white and just being like, hello, yes, this is my answer.
Yeah.
Because you've got to show proof first.
100%.
Yeah, that's good. Leading from the front. I remember when me and Sam first made the game, and we were the first like kind of bringing people together. I sent you that image, and I of like the guy behind pushing people on, or the person in front that was pulling all the people along. And I was like, that's how we have to lead. We have to lead from the front. And like, it's commonly known that when you make a business, you're the last person to get paid. Like you are, like when you make something, you're the last one to ever see any like money value, because you're the one that you're the one that sacrifices the most time. That is kind of your responsibility as a leader of a company, or as a project at all, is that you have to show other people that you are so committed, so disciplined, that you're going to get stuff done. Yeah. And they go, oh, okay, well I can get behind this because they're leading the charge. I just have to fall in and
they've already shown that they've been doing the work.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's brilliant. It's been so nice to chat to you guys. I think that's probably the point at which we're going to have to jump into our episode. But thank you so much for coming on, Hinchi. It's been brilliant. It's really great.
It's been a pleasure being able to share those little bits here and there.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's nice to get it out my brain.
Yeah, for sure.
Offload a little.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been so good
I can't keep on interviewing myself, guys. I need people to do it for me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been lovely to talk about. It's lovely to have like a little view into the TCG world. Obviously, we're TTRPG, so we're kind of the other side of the field. But it's so interesting to hear about that side of the world, what's going on. Like your insights and your philosophy is super interesting. So thank you so much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I do appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be able to actually like talk to other people that are kind of in the same boat.
Yeah,
and it's nice to like bounce, because what you guys say to me is value, right? I get to learn from you guys as well, and you guys get to learn from me. It's like the cohesion of it just works really well.
Exactly right. Absolutely
amazing.
Keep us posted with everything that's going on, Hinchi. Please follow Dynasty TCG. Yeah, where can we find you?
It would be just search Dynasty TCG into Google, and whatever pops up, click on them, and then you can go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, brilliant. Get involved. Anyone listening, get involved.
Yeah,
play it. It's good fun.
Thank you for everybody for listening. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen. Keep on rolling.